fulfillment of the 7 enlightenment factors. And how bhikkhus do the 4 foundations of mindfulness, developed and cultivated, fulfill the 7 enlightenment factors. Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body as a body, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world, on that occasion unremitting mindfulness is established in him. What is unremitting mindfulness? Ceaseless, constant, unremitting. Yeah. So when you keep practicing, it'll become automatic. Autopilot. Yes, you just get into autopilot on things. Like that, when you keep doing satipatthana and keep doing observing the body, you get into an autopilot mode. So even while walking, talking, did it happen that you were observing sensations? You didn't even have the intention of observing sensation, but you were observing sensations. Autopilot. Yeah. So unremitting mindfulness is that. An autopilot of observing sensations happens in you without even making an effort. Yeah. On whatever occasion unremitting mindfulness is established in a bhikkhu, on that occasion the mindfulness enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. So number 1, you can write over there, is the mindfulness enlightenment factor. It develops in him when he does this constantly in autopilot. Yeah. And you will experience it rather than understanding in words. It cannot really be described in words. You're all the time mindful. Mindful is different from meditation. What is meditation? Meditation is staying on an object, whatever your object is. What is your object in Anapana? Breath. What is your object in Satipatthana? Sensations. Yeah. Meditation is constantly staying on the object. What is mindfulness? Remembering to stay on the object, or remembering to keep coming back to the object. The mindfulness enlightenment factor is a part of that witness who recognizes, oh, I'm lost. I'm not supposed to be lost. I'm not supposed to be a participant here. He remembers to come back. The more you remember to come back, the mindfulness enlightenment factor increases in you. Got it? And when you constantly remember to stay, don't go away, stay, and 100 on 100 you get. In your entire 1 hour meditation, not one thought, not one thing took you away. The thought probably came in the background and went away. It was unsuccessful in taking you away from your breath or your sensation. That means you were 100% there. That means what has developed? Mindfulness enlightenment factor. Very clear? Abiding thus mindful, he investigates and examines that state with wisdom and embarks upon a full inquiry into it. What inquiry are you doing over there? Are you doing that? Are you asking, then how are you a Sakshi? You decide, are you a Sakshi or are you not a Sakshi? Are you a witness or are you not a witness? If you are a witness, then What are you doing as a witness? And what is a part of observation? So what comes out of it? Knowledge, wisdom. What is the wisdom? Oh, it's temporary. How did I come to this conclusion? By my thorough observation and inquiry. It's not really inquiring, you're not asking a question. It just makes itself appear to you. Oh, it arises, it stays, and it passes away. You're not thinking, you're not.
Experientially understanding.
Yes, experientially understanding it. Not intellectually understanding. Two different things, na? Intellectually, I can explain to you there is something called shokokus. It is that big and it can come in different sizes, but it is always like a cylinder upside down, and it is full of cream and it is yummy and it has many flavors. You experienced it or what? Do you know what is shokokus? Intellectually, how much ever you by heart it, did you get it? No. Did you understand intellectual understanding? Now, find a way to get to Germany and taste a shokokus. When you taste a shokokus, then you know, this is what it tastes like. It's so creamy. This is what she was talking about. Then you have experienced it. Ab experience karne mein, did you analyze? Did you say a word? Did you understand? That is what happens in this kind of inquiry. There are no words, there is no analysis happening in the mind. It is an experience of shokokus. And there is some wisdom that arises from it. And on whatever occasion, abiding thus mindful, a bhikkhu investigates and examines that state with wisdom and embarks upon a full inquiry into it. On that occasion, the investigation of state's enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. Yeah, this is the second enlightenment factor. In short, you can call it investigation enlightenment factor. Wisdom was always there. You have now opened your eyes and you're seeing clearly. That's all. What are you really seeing? You're seeing your own mind. You're seeing your own emotions. You've been with it 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life, 70 years of your life. Your own mind. Right? So just opening up to what was already there. Investigation is not like intellectual investigation. It's like tasting and licking that shokokus. Yum. Oh, yum. There is no intellect involved. There are no words involved. Are you getting it? Experiencing the chocolate covered also part and the cream part also. You're just experiencing it. Very clear? Yeah. So investigation of states means there are different states that happen to you, no? Sometimes you are in thought, the Vedana is pleasant. Sometimes you are not in thought, but just a Vedana that is coming up in the body without thought. That has happened. You don't know what this is. There are no thoughts and suddenly there's lots of Vedana in the body. Yeah. Different states of mind are there. As we go, we learn them. But you start investigating these states of mind. And the investigation enlightenment factor develops in you slowly. In one who investigates and examines, it's a continuation, remember? Yeah, in one who investigates and examines that state with wisdom and embarks upon a full inquiry into it, tireless energy is aroused. When you get interested in something, how automatically your energy comes up. Yeah, if you're just sitting on a Sunday getting bored, oh, I don't have energy, I'm exhausted. And suddenly somebody says, new film, Ranbir Kapoor, what happens to you? Come, let's go. So, kahan se aayi energy? Just from your interest, that investigation. You get it? So just like that, the same thing happens in meditation. You start investigation of the states, it becomes so interesting, the energy goes up. Yeah, so when you come for the 10 day, I will tell you just turn up the energy, become interested. If you had studied the sutta before coming, then you would know, I know how to do it. Yeah, you get interested in what you're doing. Unremitting mindfulness leads to investigation increasing. Investigation increasing, automatically tireless energy gets aroused. Are you seeing it? So you know how to go from 1 to 2 to 3. This is your preparation for the 10 day. On whatever occasion, tireless energy is aroused in a bhikkhu who investigates and examines that state with wisdom and embarks upon a full inquiry into it. On that occasion, the energy enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. Yeah, it keeps coming up, that energy becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, and you will find yourself sitting through hours with full energy. Yeah, because you have learnt this skill. The more mindful I am, the more I keep investigating the states. The more I keep investigation on, my interest is so much, my energy is up. Clear? You wrote energy enlightenment factor. This is the third one. And go to the fourth. In one who has aroused energy, unworldly rapture arises. First of all, what is rapture?
Happiness.
Happiness where? In the body. Yeah. And what is unworldly? Yeah, it's not related to external people, situations and things. It's not worldly, not samsaric. Literal translation, not of the samsara. Yeah, adhyatmic. Of this is so much of interest to you, wisdom and inner knowledge. Recognizing it has become so interesting now that what happens? Energies increase, and that energy leads to happiness, excitement. Okay. On that occasion, the rapture enlightenment factors aroused in him, and he develops it, and by that development, it comes to fulfillment in him. Yeah, when I say the movie is released, first there is energy and then there is excitement. Did you notice it coming one after the other? Yeah, and you feel that excitement in the body. What is the difference between excitement in the body and pleasure in the mind? There's a surprise party for you. What happens? You feel the goosebumps. That is excitement in the body. What is pleasure in the mind? The shokukus kaisa hoga na? That's a pleasant, soft joy. So that's a softer joy compared to the goosebumps that you feel on the body. You get it? So the goosebumps on the body is rapture, and that soft, pleasant joy is sukha, pleasure. Yeah? I don't have to teach you samadhi really. It will start happening provided you keep making your earnest effort in satipatthana. And lots of garbage gets cleaned, you become lighter and lighter and lighter. And what does lightness do to you? You become happy. You become happy. Become happy, 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 happy. That excitement happens. That's another milestone in Satipatthana. Many people get there very quickly. You'll get there very quickly in your 10-day retreat. No, no. No, no. No, no, no. You don't lose your enlightenment factor level. It's like you filled up fuel to a point. And so even if you stop practicing for a while and then you start practicing again, you start getting your fuel. Yeah, it's like your first memory of your first wonderful, pleasant meditation. Just remember it, whatever meditation you did. Yeah, and that just the memory brings a smile back on to your face. The same thing. It arouses that state in you automatically. There's really no technique. If you've noticed, बोलने के लिए it's a technique. Is there really a technique? It's really, there is no technique. Nobody's manufactured anything. You've just become aware of something you were unaware before. That's it. My eyes were closed before. I've just opened my eyes. It was always there. My body-mind complex was there. Sanya and Vedana was there. But I was not giving attention to Vedana. I was giving attention to Sanya. That's it. I was trying to push Sanya away from my life. Now I recognize, oh, there's Vedana. Just observe it. And watch it die. Watch it die. Watch it die. Watch it die. You become stronger and stronger and stronger. And you become the master and thoughts become slaves. They come only when you command. Otherwise, they are sitting on the side. And this, you will actually reach a stage where you can do this. Provided interest in your own self. Interest in your own self. You don't have any interest in your own self. What is the new phone? iPhone 11 is more interesting than my own self. तो ठीक है, भुगतो. Get it? Develop that interest. You will get there like this. 100 on 100 के below चलेगा ही नहीं. Like that, if you keep your goal, then you see you will get there. Because I know this from experience. I am like that. How can I get under 100? There is not one shloka in Ashtavakra that I don't understand. There's not one shloka in Patanjali that I don't understand. Experientially. Not intellectually. Experientially. There's not one sutta that I can compromise on. ठीक है, चलता है if I don't get this. How you do know sometimes क्या? Optional. Syllabus में होता है ना? Optional होता है ना? No optional business for me. If you keep that kind of an interest, you're getting there. Nothing can stop you. And real fast. Because then all obstacles are gone, no? Your interest is so one-pointed. Blinders are on. घोड़े को होता है ना? Horses have blinders. So they can just go in one direction. Like that. I have blinders on since the age of 8. I only know one direction. It'll take some time, no? So at first it arises and then slowly it develops and then at a point it gets fulfilled. Fulfillment of 7 enlightenment factors leads to a state called cessation. Cessation of perception, consciousness and feeling. And that's where you can go into that samadhi where you can sit for 12 hours and not get out and not even know it was 12 hours. Yeah. In one who is rapturous, the body and the mind become tranquil. What is rapturous first? We're happy, all excitement. Yes. Now when this excitement starts calming down, what happens? Yeah, tranquility happens. What is tranquility? Becoming calmer. But it is a happy calm. It's not equanimous calm yet. Yeah? A happy calmness. Tranquil, उसको बोलेंगे कभी ट्रैंक्विलाइजर लिया है नींद की गोली if you take tranquilizers, so you feel nasha, little oozy, yeah. So how you feel? Happy and kind of dazed. That is a tranquil feeling. You're happy, but this is natural. You've not taken a tranquilizer here. Huh? This is naturally feeling that way. Very happy, but very calm happy. Not excited happy, a calm happy. Yeah. On whatever occasion the body and the mind become tranquil in a bhikkhu who is rapturous, on that occasion the tranquility enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. You have to start working on your enlightenment factors also. I will tell you in your emails, whenever you write to me and you reach the higher levels, I will work with you on the enlightenment factors. Okay? So for that, jaldi keep practicing. Go to the higher levels. Level 6 and level 7 pe, we'll work on enlightenment factors. Yeah? So I'll tell you now, if someday you're feeling very sad and low and depressed, something happened at home and you're not feeling good, and when you sit, what happens in Satipatthana? Yeah, you'll have very gross sensations. Gross sensation means like stone-like, heavy sensations. Yeah, and then I will tell you, okay, now evoke the enlightenment factor of rapture. What is rapture? Yeah, this joy in the body, the excitement wala joy. So then you'll have to work on that. Yeah, increase your mindfulness. Yeah, become very, very interested in what you're doing. The energy will go up and excitement will happen. You get it? So we'll start working on these things, but for that you have to reach a little bit higher. Practice now, practice. Okay? Someday if you are too excited, too restless, oh, I can't just meditate 2 minutes, I'm observing sensations and so many thoughts are bothering me. This is too much restlessness. Then I will say, now evoke the enlightenment factor of tranquility. So you will have to work on reducing the rapture, the restlessness that you are experiencing. As if you have a regulator inside and you can increase and decrease. Yeah, it's interesting. It's so much fun to work on yourself. कभी देखा है कहीं meditation ऐसा? बोलो. So this is a lot of fun to work on yourself. So clear? Tranquility, enlightenment factor. Now, in one whose body is tranquil and who feels pleasure, the mind becomes collected. It's an automatic process. When you're tranquil, automatically the mind starts getting collected. And on whatever occasion the mind becomes collected in a bhikkhu whose body is tranquil and who feels pleasure. Now this is sukha. Pleasure of what? Mind. The happiness at the mind level, not at the body level. It's a soft joy. On that occasion, the collectedness, enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. Yeah. Excitement is rapture. You're reducing the regulator. It comes down to tranquility. Yeah, where I told you the happy calm, and then I tell you reduce that even more, and then that becomes very soft pleasure, which where the mind becomes all collected. The soft pleasure of the mind and collectedness of the mind happens together. Yeah, so this is the collectedness enlightenment factor. In Pali, it is samadhi enlightenment factor. The most interesting part of this meditation, Buddha's meditation. Wow, I have the control. Really, all my life I had it. What was I doing? Okay. He closely looks on with equanimity at the mind, thus collected. On whatever occasion, a bhikkhu closely looks on with equanimity at the mind, thus collected. On that occasion, the equanimity enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development, it comes to fulfillment in him. What is equanimity? Straight graph means no pleasure, no pain. So just before this, where were you? At what? Collectedness was with pleasure. Sukha was there. Now that sukha also starts becoming quieter and quieter and quieter, and the graph becomes straight. It was a slight wave. That wave becomes a straight graph now. Got it? Yes? Equanimity, enlightenment factor is nothing but no pleasure, no pain. Just quiet. And the longer you stay there, the more you're developing the equanimity, enlightenment factor in you. It's already happening. Some of you are getting to quiet mind. Yes, when you get to quiet mind, I told you, gather the courage to bear this power of the silence, the power of the quiet mind. And the more you bear the power, you are in quiet, straight line, no pain, no pleasure, quiet, and woof, it's gone, I know. But that much you have developed. Then again it happens, again that much you have developed. So it's like collecting pennies in your piggy bank. Your equanimity keeps increasing. Yeah. So he has given you a step-by-step process how to reach equanimity. Rather than just telling you be equanimous. What is equanimous? How to be equanimous? Yeah, you're thrown off boat and then you're like, forget it, I don't get it. And you don't really practice, you don't do anything. This really gives you step by step how to get there. Yeah. Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu abides observing feelings as feelings. What is feelings as feelings? Vedananu paschana. Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu abides contemplating feelings as feelings, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. Now you're repeating all of the 7 enlightenment factors till the equanimity enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. Got it? All these 7 we first developed with observing body. What was that called? Kayanupaschana. Now with Vedananupaschana, all the 7 in this paragraph. Is this clear? Okay. Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu abides, observing mind as mind, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world, and all the 7 enlightenment factors till equanimity enlightenment factor is aroused in him and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. So here it is, Chittanupasthana with all the 7 enlightenment factors. And bhikkhus, on whatever occasion, a bhikkhu abides contemplating mind objects as mind objects, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world, all the 7 enlightenment factors, until equanimity enlightenment factors aroused in him, and he develops it, and by development it comes to fulfillment in him. Bhikkhus, this is how the 4 foundations of mindfulness, developed and cultivated, fulfill the 7 enlightenment factors. What was the last one? Dhammanupasthana with all the 7 enlightenment factors. You're not really doing them separately. You're doing them together, all 4 in one only when you're observing. But it's just explained separately, just for emphasis. Very clear? Any question till here? Yeah, because still here we were only working on the 4 foundations of mindfulness and the 7 enlightenment factors, not the other smaller meditations. So those are meditations only to reach higher now. And the higher level is Satipatthana, the lower level is meditation on foulness, meditation on impermanence, there's forgiveness meditation. There are many kinds of meditations which are preliminary meditations, but they all reach here. All of these can be enhanced by the 7 enlightenment factors, which automatically take you into Samadhi. I don't need to teach you Samadhi. Yeah? Samadhi is called jhanas. Okay. Fulfillment of true knowledge and deliverance. And how bhikkhus do the 7 enlightenment factors, developed and cultivated, fulfill true knowledge and deliverance. What is deliverance? I told you yesterday. Deliverances? Yes. Getting out of this dukkha, this suffering that I have in my mind. Yeah, getting free of this, getting delivered from it. Yeah? Awakened or enlightened, whatever you want to call it. Here, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu develops the mindfulness enlightenment factor, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion, and cessation. What is seclusion? Body and mind from everything in the world. What does it mean? What does it imply? Isolated, yes. You have to be isolated, okay. You go into the forest and do it. You can do it at home. Perfect. Secluding yourself from anything unwholesome, which also means that automatically other interests have to drop away. If I'm very interested in people, situations and things, will I be able to reach this level of samadhi and get enlightened? No. This is the point where you have to walk alone. Ekla chalo re. Walk alone. This is where you walk alone. Yeah, that's why it's called advanced. No? In the beginning, you want community, you want friends, you want people, you want spiritual company, and afterwards, this same spiritual company becomes bothersome. Yeah, and you want to now be with yourself and your knowledge, and you want to develop. This is the point where you know that you have to go advanced now, because naturally you have withdrawn from that wanting the spiritual community. Natural it has happened. And now you feel like being with knowledge and just you and growing. Seclusion has started happening at the physical level, now at the mental level, dropping things. In fact, they drop very easily as you go, as the interest develops, and you get more secluded. Yeah, this is the final seclusion. Only in this seclusion can you get enlightened. Remember that. And what happens in seclusion? Automatic dispassion. Yeah. Lack of passion for anything, anyone in this entire world. Which means dispassion even to your spiritual community, even to the teacher. You cannot keep thinking about Ekta. You cannot keep thinking about the Guru. You cannot keep thinking about the scripture. You have to go to quiet mind. Dive into the silence of the quiet mind. Gather the courage to bear the power of that silence. And stay. Like, have you learned to float on the water in a swimming pool? Yeah? Many people know how to swim. Very few people know how to float. Yes, surrendering, When you give up control, then only you manage to float. Yeah? If you've not tried it, please try it and you'll understand what I'm saying. The giving up of control is required for floating on that water. And your body will really float. As if you're made of paper, you will float on top of water. And be like, wow, I never really knew this. All you had to do was give up control. Just give up control. Yes? Exactly the same thing happens at this point. You have to give up control in that silence. When I tell you bear the power of silence, you have to give up control. You have to just float in that silence. Just be. Just be. Just be. Just be. And you'll gather the courage of just being, and the longevity will be noticed by you. You'll see how long you can be in that silence. That's how you can be in those 12 hours samadhi and not know it. It requires courage to be there. You get there, the moment you say, silence, finish, it's gone. The courage to not jump in and just be a witness to the silence. Just be. Just be. Just be. The silence prolongs. The moment you say, silence, finish, excitement, it's all gone. No thought. That's, silence is a thought. There, Sanya and Vedana both together. Silence gone. You understand what I'm saying? Courage is required to not react. You are so used to reacting. That is why you cannot sustain silence. And that is why you need to practice Satipatthana, so you stop reacting. Now, did you understand where you're going, where you're heading? That is the key. In a nutshell, getting to quiet mind is our goal. ठीक है ना? Seclusion, dispassion. What was the third? Then cessation happens. Cessation cannot happen without seclusion and dispassion. Okay? All these three support mindfulness enlightenment factor, and that ripens in relinquishment. Matlab? Giving up. Giving up control is the last thing that you will give up there. That's why you just learn to give up. Ego holds on, no? My effort, my practice, my community, my people, my spirituality, my scripture, my guru, my teacher. So many my's you have on the spiritual path. My rites, my rituals, my belief. कितना my है. सब छोड़ना है. सब. Then only can you dive into that silence. Till the time you're controlling, you will not be able to dive. The day you let go, you will just float in silence. That's it. You've reached home. You've got where you've been thirsting to reach. Yeah? That is the meaning of ripening into relinquishment. That's the final one. He develops the investigation of state's enlightenment factor, ... means, go back to the second line, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion and cessation, and ripens in relinquishment. Got it? Yeah. Every investigation factor keeps ripening, and at the end, when all 7 are ripened, the final dip into samadhi happens, into nibbana. The final dip into nibbana happens. What is nibbana? Nirvana in Hindi is nibbana in Pali, or nirvana in Sanskrit is nibbana in Pali. Yes, for nibbana to happen, what is the prerequisite? All 7 enlightenment factors get fulfilled and ripen into relinquishment. Clear? So I explained it before I finished the paragraph. So now I'll just read the whole paragraph. Okay? He develops the energy enlightenment factor, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion and cessation, and ripens in relinquishment. He develops the rapture enlightenment factor, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion and cessation, and ripens in relinquishment. He develops the tranquility enlightenment factor, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion and cessation, and ripens in relinquishment. He develops the collectedness enlightenment factor, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion and cessation, and ripens in relinquishment. He develops the equanimity enlightenment factor, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion and cessation, and ripens in relinquishment. Clear? Bhikkhus, that is how the 7 enlightenment factors, developed and cultivated, fulfill true knowledge and deliverance. This is what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words.